What's up guys, this is VinylicPuma, and today I'd like to go over 10 of what I think are among the best signature guns and weapons in Far Cry 4. Now before we start, this video will go over signature weapons that are not only included in Far Cry 4's base game, but we'll also go over a few of the weapons that were included with the Season Pass or Far Cry 4's Gold Edition. But even if you don't have the Season Pass, you should be able to acquire the vast majority of the weapons on this list, so don't worry about it. But without further ado, these are what I think are among the top 10 best signature weapons in Far Cry 4, starting now. Number 10. The Elephant Gun. While the elephant gun is decent for combat, this weapon excels at hunting the various animals of Kyrat. Now, you can hunt with the bow, and that is going to provide you with karma, and I do advise that you continue to do that up against some of the weaker animals. However, some of the more tougher animals like tigers, leopards, rhinos, and even honey badgers can be a real pain to hunt with the bow due to their high health or just small stature. And this is where the elephant gun comes in. Now, generally, one well-placed headshot will pretty much one-hit KO whatever animal is in front of you while keeping their skin intact. And as you can imagine, this is extremely useful for hunting rhinos, as these enemies have very high health and require either a lot of arrows or bullets to take down. The only lame thing about the elephant gun is that you will need the Season Pass or Far Cry 4's Gold Edition in order to use it. However, even if you don't have the Season Pass or the Gold Edition, you can still unlock the 700 Nitro shotgun, which is the non-signature version of the elephant gun. Now, while the elephant gun is capable of more damage than the 700 Nitro, I think you'll find that the 700 Nitro is better balanced all around, as it has better range and accuracy, while still retaining most of the elephant gun's damage potential. But if you have the Season Pass, be sure to pick up the elephant gun, as it is an excellent hunting weapon. Number 9. The Rebel A99 pistol. So, the Rebel is quite possibly one of, if not the best sidearms in Far Cry 4's early game. Now, while I would argue it's eventually surpassed by the A99, which is the weapon that the Rebel is based on, considering how early on you can acquire the Rebel, I think you're going to find that you're going to want to get this gun. After all, the Rebel is a great weapon to use while operating vehicles due to its high rate of fire and high damage. Plus, it's also worth mentioning that the Rebel has pretty good stats overall as well, and while the range could certainly be higher, the Rebel is still pretty accurate and has great fire rate and mobility. And in my mind, the accuracy is really convenient here while you're in a vehicle, as a great number of your shots are going to likely hit their intended target. My only complaint with the Rebel is that it uses handgun ammunition, which isn't really plentiful enough to sustain a weapon with such a high rate of fire. In fact, you may find that early on, you'll quickly run through your ammo capacity if you use the Rebel too often. At the same time though, the Rebel makes for a great high rate of fire weapon while using vehicles, and if you want the Rebel, it becomes available for purchase after liberating 10 outposts. Number 8. The 1887 shotgun. So, the 87 is a pretty weird weapon. While sidearm shotguns aren't a totally remote concept in Far Cry 4, what's interesting about the 87 is that it is a sidearm version of the regular 1887 as opposed to a D2. Now, while the 87 has inferior stats to the 1887 in a number of areas, including things like accuracy, range, and mobility, the 87 is capable of dealing more damage and is also capable of a superior fire rate. Plus, since it's a sidearm, you can use it while operating a vehicle, which potentially makes the 87 far more useful. In practice, the 87 is a great weapon for going up against enemy vehicles. Typically, you can usually clear out trucks and jeeps with a single well-placed shot into the window. And I guess you can also use it for hunting, but I've found that either the bull or the elephant gun are far better suited for that purpose. even still, the 87 is a great shotgun sidearm that can be obtained early on, and if you would like one of these, all you have to do is acquire 4 Mohangale journals, and it should become available for purchase. Number 7. The Driller Pkm Lmg. When it comes to early game weapons, the Driller is easily going to be the best LMG that you're going to be able to find for quite a while. And while it's based on the PKM, the Driller has superior damage to almost every non-signature LMG, including weapons like the MKG and even the MG42, which are acquired much later on. Now, while it may lack in a number of other stats when compared to either of those weapons, I think you'll find that the Driller's superior damage output will potentially make it one of the best LMGs until you can get to Northern Kirat and you can get something like the Buzzsaw or the Ripper. Now, if you just compare the Driller to the regular PKM, you're getting a pretty awesome scope, and you're also getting seemingly double the magazine size. So I would say there's not really any reason not to use the Driller if you have access to it. The problem with the Driller though is that it is a season pass weapon and is only available if you have either the season pass or you have the gold edition of Far Cry 4. So if you don't have those, you're probably out of luck. Still, the Driller is definitely going to be one of, if not the best LMGs for the early game, so I would say that if you do have access to it, you should definitely use it. Number 6. The Bull M133 Shotgun. When it comes to two-handed shotguns, I would argue that the Bull is probably the best one available, and this is not only because of the Bull's superior magazine size and stats compared to something like the Spaz 12, but it's also because the Bull comes equipped with a suppressor, making it really the only shotgun for stealth. And I would also say it's pretty nice that the Bull can be acquired relatively easily, as all you really have to do is complete 2 bomb defusal side quest missions, and this gun will become available for purchase. You may also find that the Bull makes for a decent hunting weapon as well. Now, while I don't think it's quite as powerful as the elephant gun, the Bull definitely is capable of taking out some of the tougher animals like honey badgers, tigers, and bears. Now, if you ask me, I'd rather have the suppressor and the versatility that that attachment provides rather than the all-out power of something like the elephant gun. So maybe while the elephant gun is better for hunting, I think you'll find that the Bull is more versatile for a wider variety of situations. Ultimately, the Bull is a great weapon if you like shotguns, and while it sucks that we couldn't get a suppressed semi-auto weapon like the Spaz 12, I think you'll find that the Bull packs quite a punch. Number 5. The Warrior AK-47 Assault Rifle. Now, while the Warrior isn't the game's best assault rifle, it is quite possibly the best assault rifle early on until you can acquire the Bushman. Now, the Warrior is based off of the AK-47, but it comes with a number of extremely useful attachments, such as a reflex sight and suppressor. Additionally, you'll also find that the Warrior is capable of a superior magazine size when compared to the AK-47 and is also capable of dealing more damage per shot than most of the other non-signature assault rifles, only being matched by the MS-16 and being totally outmatched by the A-52. What's also nice is how easy it is to get this weapon. All you have to do is hijack and successfully transport 2 Royal cargo trucks to the location that is marked on your map. And if you can do that, you will gain access to quite possibly one of the best assault rifles for the early game, and potentially a pretty decent one for the later game as well. Number 4. The Shredder Vector 45 ACP SMG. I'm sure this isn't really too much of a surprise, but the Shredder is the best signature SMG in Far Cry 4. Based on the Vector 45 ACP, the Shredder shares some of that weapon's characteristics, such as high fire rate and mobility. However, despite the Vector 45 ACP being capable of superior accuracy and range, the Shredder is capable of much higher damage outputs, being almost double that of the Vector 45 ACP. And it's also worth mentioning that the Shredder is capable of superior magazine size when compared to the standard Vector as well. Even if you customize the Vector to have an extended mag, I think you'll find that the Shredder is still going to have the superior magazine size. The only SMG that could go toe-to-toe with the Shredder is the BZ19. Stat-wise, both weapons are capable of similar amounts of damage. However, the Shredder has superior fire rate and mobility, while the BZ19 is capable of a higher magazine size and, of course, has superior accuracy and range. I guess it depends on your personal preference, but I tend to go with the Shredder if I have to choose between the two. As for acquiring the Shredder, you will have to have a Karma rank of 6, and then the Shredder will become available for purchase. And while it may take a while to get to Karma level 6, as long as you perform Karma events and hunt most of the animals with the bow, you should be able to get there in no time. Number 3. The AMR Z93 Sniper Rifle. So, the AMR is technically the most powerful sniper rifle in Far Cry 4 and is a returning weapon from Far Cry 3. Now, while I would argue that the AMR isn't especially practical given that the AMR can't be suppressed, the AMR will pretty much annihilate most enemies in a single shot. Even the heavy guards that wield either LMGs or flamethrowers can't withstand a full body shot with this rifle, making the AMR extremely effective against them. Additionally, the AMR is great for taking out most trucks and jeeps as well. Typically, one shot will significantly damage the vehicle, while a second shot will typically cause the vehicle to explode, thus killing any Royal Army guards within the vicinity. I do have a couple of complaints about the AMR, and a couple of those are the fact that it can't be suppressed and that it lacks the fire rate of other sniper rifles like the SA-50. Plus, I also take some issue with the fact that the AMR is acquired after liberating 23 of the 24 outposts in Far Cry 4, and this means that you really can't take advantage of the gun until much later on in Far Cry 4's campaign. Still, I suppose the AMR is a phenomenal weapon. I just wish I could have taken advantage of it sooner, rather than having to wait until way later in the game before it can be unlocked for purchase. Number 2. The Bushman P416 Assault Rifle. When it comes to assault rifles, towards the end game you really only have two choices. You have either the A52, which is customizable and can deal more damage per shot, or you have the Bushman, which is far better balanced and has a suppressor attached. Now, unfortunately for the A52, the Bushman simply outclasses it because you can't equip a suppressor, and for that reason, the A52 is just less practical. It's also worth mentioning that the Bushman is capable of superior range, accuracy, fire rate, and mobility, meaning that it's better in pretty much every other area, making it really the go-to assault rifle for Far Cry 4's endgame. And what's also great about the Bushman is that it can feasibly be acquired in southern Kyrat. Now, while you will have to have access to the arena, once you do, all you have to do is reach rank 10 and the Bushman becomes available for purchase. Now, while reaching rank 10 may be a bit of a slog in 2018 due to the fact that the Far Cry 4 Arena Master app was taken down from Google Play, you can still play other people's Arena Master maps, and you should get a decent XP boost for doing so. If you're looking for the best assault rifle in Far Cry 4, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that the Bushman is it. Number 1. The Buzzsaw Mg42 Lmg. So, the Buzzsaw is by far the best LMG in Far Cry 4 and is based on Far Cry 4's Mg42. Now, while it lacks a lot of the customization options of the standard Mg42, it more than makes up for it given the weapon's superior magazine size, and a number of other superior stats in a variety of areas, such as accuracy, damage, and fire rate. Now, stat-wise, compared to the other signature LMGs, The Driller may match the Buzzsaw's damage, however, it lacks the accuracy, range, and fire rate potential of the Buzzsaw. And as far as the Ripper is concerned, it only really matches the Buzzsaw when it comes to damage, fire rate, and mobility, while it is exceeded by the Buzzsaw in nearly every other category. What's also pretty fascinating about the Buzzsaw is that it's relatively easy to get. Now, while you will still need to unlock Northern Kirats, once you have done so, all you really need to do at that point is activate all of the radio towers. Then this weapon should be available for purchase. And compared to all of the other LMGs, let alone the signature LMGs, this is really the only one that's worth using at the endgame because it's got better stats than the Ripper, and unlike the Ripper, it can be easily acquired before beating Far Cry 4 in its entirety. So if you're looking for the best LMG in Far Cry 4, go with the Buzzsaw. Alright guys, I think that's going to pretty much wrap up this particular video. If you liked this video, feel free to leave a like, click the bell to join the notification squad, and as always, take care, and I'll see y'all next time.